All right. Oh, actually, let me show you something else while I'm at it. Some of the things that you can do, like this was really good. This works out really nicely. But let's say, I don't know, for whatever reason, we don't like that. Let's do a control. I did a control shift. I want to get back to my regular marquee. I'm going to invert. I can, in geometry, by the way, again, this is why I love the modified topology. I can go into this and I can do the delete hidden, because we've hid one piece, so it's now deleted. It's now gone. There's nothing to come back. If you control shift and I just click in the background, there's nothing to come back. It's it. It's gone. But I can now do a close hole. Shift F. See? Instant. I tell you, it's awesome. There's so many different things you can do with combinations of the edge loops, the slice curve, the modified topology, deleting holes, etc. Again, endless, guys. It's endless. It's really fantastic. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go up to our subtool. And I'm going to delete the subtool. I don't need it. And I am going to go ahead and duplicate this one a couple times just so we have our spares when we need them. All right, so let's take a look at, for instance, oh, I know what we'll look at. We'll actually do something completely different. Let's go for importing a dragon head. It's a dragon head that I had done. Oh, God, I don't know how many years ago. Oh. Okay, I can tell you, you looking at it, you've got different subtools, polygroups. You've got the jaw, you've got the horns, etc. But the one thing this thing does not have is subdivisions. Right now it is at 566,000 polygons, but that's it. If I hit Shift D, there's nothing to go down to. This is it. This model was like, that's it. There's nothing else there to it. All right. That isn't very helpful to me, especially if you're going to be working with a model where, for instance, I need subdivisions. I need to have a model that's, a whole lot less than 500,000 polygons. All right, so let's take a look at one of the functionalities in ZBrush that's kind of part and parcel of Dynamesh. It's called the Zremesher. All right, so let's go to our Geometry tab. Oh, by the way, before we do anything, go to Subtool. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. We're going to duplicate this particular subtool, and let's turn off the original. So we now have a duplicate. Let's go to Geometry tab, and let's go for the Zremesher. All right. Now the Zremesher, if I hit Shift F so we can see our wireframe, it's really, it's all quads, but it's, really dense. It's not going to help us. It's certainly not going to be animatable. It's too high poly, etc., etc. What are we going to do with that? Well, ZBrush created this Zremesher. What Zremesher does is it will take your sculpt that has no subdivisions, and it will create a model that's, you can actually set the parameters as to what sort of poly count you're looking for, etc., etc. You can be very stringent on the poly count, or you can be kind of lax on it. And let's show you how this is done. Right now, the standard default target polygon count is 5. That doesn't mean 5. It's 5,000. Okay, this number is always in thousands. So if it's 5, it means it'll remesh this model, so it's going to be, well, about 5,000. All right, not super strong on that, because right now we're looking at 50%, 50%. This is how stringent we're looking to make this model be, about 5,000 polygons. If I don't adjust anything and I don't change the adaptive size, if I don't scale it down any to really make sure it's going to focus on that, it could give me a model that's about 20,000 polygons or something like that. Still better than 500,000, but may not quite be what we're looking for. But let's go ahead and just try this just to take a look at this. So we've got our model. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the Zremesher. And as you can see, the progress bar is scrolling across. It may take a few seconds, so I'll go ahead and pause the video while it's doing that. Okay, well, it took about 14 seconds. And as you can see, now check it out. Look at that. It's following a really nice silhouette. It's very good at giving you some good edge loops. It doesn't make them really wonky. I mean, if you needed to cut this model up for UVs, you could easily enough. But that's not bad. Not bad at all. But let's see what the poly count is. Oh, I wasn't far off. 22,800. So that's not bad. That's not bad. I think if you're only going to have this on the screen, maybe as a talking head for something, 20,000 polygons isn't bad. I don't know that I would use that for like something more, game related. Control Z this. Let's go ahead and we're going to adjust this adaptive size. Let's go ahead and pull this down to say 20. All right. Let's go ahead and do the Zremesher now. And I'll pause again while it's working. Okay, so it went ahead and did it. Again, it's keeping really good topology, good edge loops. Let's see what this is now. 12,600 polygons. Well, okay, we're getting there. We're still not there yet, though. But you also have to keep in mind sometimes certain models, it'll try and do the best it can. But I can tell you, I've seen certain models where the lower you go, it starts to really lose polygons and really lose silhouette. And the one thing you don't want to lose when you're working on a model is the silhouette, the actual silhouette. All right, let's do a Control Z. We're going to do this one more time. We're going to drop this down to say 10. Let's do another Zremesh, and I'll pause while it's doing that. Okay, and it finished up in about 13 seconds. 10,000 polygons. I don't know if we can go one more time. I'm willing to try. Let's see how well it keeps. So far, it's done a really great job of keeping the silhouette, but you can see right down here, it's losing some of this in here. It is losing some of that. All right, but let's go ahead and try it one more time and see what it does. I'll go ahead and pause it. Oh, I didn't even need to pause it. 9,000. I think that's about as good as we're going to get with this because it's just going to start deforming the model too much. We lost a lot of detailing in here as a result, but still, it'll work. It'll work for a low poly model. So we can do one of two things. We know that we're looking at about 550,000 polygons. So let's go ahead and we've got 9,000 polygons now. So Control D, Control D, Control D. Well, so I'm in the area. Let's go back to our subtool. Turn on you have to turn on the original. Make sure it's on and make sure it's underneath your Z-remeshed version. And right underneath here with project, okay, project is part of the subtool. You want to turn your distance up to 1. You want to make sure it gets the best distance it can. And then you want to click this button, Project All. And what that is going to do is it's going to be projecting the high-res version onto your new high-res version that has subdivisions. All right, as you can see, it's already done. If I hit Shift F, what's the difference between the two? Let's go ahead and turn off the bottom one. All right. Oh, you can see there was an error here, so we would have to remake that or fix that up. I can see a little bit of errors there. Yeah, see, it actually wiped out that one whole thing. We could rebuild that, but it should have been able to support that. But I thought we might be going a little bit low. But that's okay. More or less, it followed through with what I wanted to be able to do. It still kept all of the details except for this one particular piece. And like I said, we could look to rebuild that. But the nice thing about this is I now have a model I can go Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, Shift D down to, and I now have what would be technically a game resolution model and would be able to go from there. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and backstep this quite a bit. I'm going to move back to this one. Okay. Now we can cure some of that. So we can make the Zremesher focus on certain aspects of where we want edge loops to absolutely be guaranteed. Now we lost all of the edge loops around the eyes. We lost some in here, etc. What you can do is click here, hit Z, and there's a Zremesher guides brush. Okay, so what is that? What it is we're literally, all I have to do is just left mouse and I'm just clicking and dragging and I'm creating the edge loops that I want the Zremesher to absolutely make sure is there. And I want to make sure that there's edge loops around the eyes, for instance. I want to make sure that there's going to be some nice edge loops around the jaw. And by the way, since it is symmetry, it means I can just do one side of this. I don't have to draw the lines all the way around. I'm just making sure that it's going to be following something like this. Let's say I wanted to do something like this. Although it was pretty good, I got to admit it was pretty good with the lips. All right, and I'll just do something like that. And you can actually design how you want your edge flow to work. And I'm going to draw this right up here. By the way, if I want to continue this, if I want to continue this line, as you can see, it highlights and it goes green. It means I can literally click and then just drag on it and it'll refollow that line up. We can do the same over here. I'll just pull that around like this. This is just to show you what you could do. Now, with this here, and let's do a couple around the nose just to be sure. There we go. Obviously, you want to do it a whole lot more careful than I'm doing this. I'm just showing you this for this tutorial purpose. Now, it's going to make sure that those edge loops are really adhered to. So when I go back to our geometry tab, the Zremesher, I'm going to change this adaptive back up to 10. And let's go ahead and do a Zremesher. And then I'll pause while it's figuring its stuff out. And there we go. It was about 13 seconds. But now I have nice guaranteed edge loops around here, around the mouth. It worked out very, very nicely. Up, and the edge flow, you can see this one, it pulls it right up in the front. And this one, it goes right out there. All right, so you can actually determine on your model where you want the different pieces to be in order to be able to help guide the Zremesher when it's remeshing your model to something that you can use. All right, again, a beautiful little tool in ZBrush and one I use. Please make sure you guys have some fun with that one.